Torry Holt, College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What does this honor mean to you, man?
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
Yeah.
Very excited. Glad that my family's here with me, getting an opportunity to take this in. So thankful to be able to represent a fine institution at North Carolina State University. And so many guys, man, that when I think about this, Haywood Jeffries, Eddie Goins, guys come to mind that played at NC State that kind of paved the way. Mike Quicks of the world showed myself and others how to play the position and play it the right way and play it at a high level. And this is just a credit to the work that I put in, and credit to my teammates and my coaches for believing in me and giving me an opportunity.
Let's throw it back, man. What kind of advice would you give to your college self right now, reflecting back, right?
Wow. What advice would I give to my college self? Enjoy it, man. Just enjoy the moment. Work hard, just like I did. Challenge others, inspire people, inspire my teammates. And I would say this, go harder to try to win an ACC championship. That's what I would say. Out of all the individual accolades that I was able to accomplish, but I wasn't able to win a bowl game, and I wasn't able to win an ACC championship. But my experience was great. But those are a couple of things that I would say to my old self.
What is the story from college that you think best represents Torry Holt at 21 years old?
I would say probably my junior year in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And I scored 5 touchdowns in that game. And I think that was kind of
Was that the most you ever had, or?
That was I had 5 touchdowns in that game, and then I had 5 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns. No, that was the most I had.
Yeah,
that
I was gonna say,
and I had 4 touchdowns against Baylor, 4 touchdowns against Clemson. But those 5 touchdowns against Florida State and the level of competition that they presented, I think was kind of, some would say, was a coming out party for me. So I think that sums up who I was, and that kind of launched me out there to really.
You get 5 touchdowns in the game. You feel pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Like, I can do this. Like I can play with anybody in the country. So I think that game was probably what best defines Torry Holt.
You mentioned the ACC, Clemson, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
When you're watching them play, what comes to mind for you?
Unbelievable talent. When I look at their wide receivers, it's like looking at looking at an NBA All-Star team.
Yeah.
Everybody's 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", but tremendous talent. Trevor Lawrence is incredible. Travis Etienne. They got the offensive
underappreciated in a way.
Yeah, they got the offensive player of the year. They got the defensive player of the year in Isaiah Simmons. So. And then it's funny, I was talking to Dabo Swinney last night, and I was asking him, I said, how do you keep everybody happy with all the talent?
Everybody's got to eat.
And everybody's got to eat. How do you? He said he's got a tremendous buy-in, and the guys are, from a mental standpoint, they get it because they know that their time is coming.
Yeah.
And then I would say this, too, with Clemson, as well as NC State and all the schools in the ACC, they're putting guys, not only are they developing them for college, they're sending them off to the pros, and the guys are having a significant impact in the National Football League as well.
We know Dabo Swinney on the podium. You kind of have that behind-the-scenes look. What is he like behind closed doors?
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
And my family, my daughters, my wife got an opportunity to meet him last night, and they think the world of him. He's very humble.
Yeah.
He takes to everybody. He makes you feel like you're the most important person in the room, and he's probably the most important person in the room. So that's a unique gift that he has, and you can see why his players play for him and why his coaches respect him and they coach for him as well.
I have to mention, if I'm going to talk to you, greatest show on turf.
Oh, my God.
Let's throw it back.
Oh, my God.
Just that era of football. How do you describe that as being a part of it?
Speed, execution, unselfishness. Because you look at that greatest show on the turf team, Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer. Isaac Bruce will soon be Hall of Famer. Lando Pace was a Hall of Famer. Myself, I'm up for the Hall of Famer.
I was going to say.
So, I mean, it was a ton of talent, but everybody was so happy for one another's success, and that's rare. And it allowed for us to go out and do our jobs and do it at a high level because we were competing, but we were competing, I guess, in a good way. Again, we were pulling for one another, and it was all about excellence, and it was all about championships. Now, we only won 1 championship, but we won conference championships, and we were able to win a world championship as well.
I got to compare offenses. Your offense, greatest show on turf, versus the 07 Patriots.
That's a good one because the 07 Patriots were dynamic. They were really good. Moss, and Brady, and Welker, and all those guys. But I got to go with us.
Of course.
The greatest show.
Not giving any credit to Randy Moss.
The amount of points in the years, the consecutive years in which we did it, was just unbelievable. We took the National Football League by storm. because of the speed in which we played, the routes, the concepts in which we were running, and the points were just incredible. So I would go with the greatest show on turf. But no disrespect to those Patriots, 07 Patriots. They were phenomenal, but the greatest show on turf was the best.
You know a thing or two about wide receivers. Who do you think is the best wide receiver of all time?
Jerry Rice. I think if you look at Jerry Rice and his body of work, the consistency, the longevity of his career. I mean, he got hurt. He got hurt later in his career with a knee injury. Came back from that and was even better. Jerry may not have been the fastest and the biggest of players, but he was very precise, hard-working, great run after the catch, good hands, just a phenomenal all-around athlete, the greatest receiver of all time.
Let's take Jerry out of it for a second. He's kind of a lot of people besides him, like Randy Moss, T.O., like where do you go in there?
I mean, Randy Moss was great. I mean, Terrell Owens, Marvin Harrison, Isaac Bruce, Larry Fitzgerald, myself.
I'm putting you in there. Don't worry. I'm giving you credit.
I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, there's just so many great receivers that played in our league. And, but Jerry set the standard, but he set the standard for us to chase, and we all were chasing. Larry is still in the league and still chasing. But those are some guys that come to mind that are just exceptional, off-the-chart receivers.
Last thing here, besides Kurt, because obviously you want to give credit to your quarterback, if you could have any quarterback throw you the ball for a 10-year, 11-year career, whatever it was.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana? Why?
Because Joe was so cool, so calm and collective, and he had a really good feel for defenses, a really good feel for his offense, had a really good rapport with his wide receivers, and his timing was just unbelievable. Joe hit that back foot, that ball was out and going. But I just would have loved to have been around Joe because I just love the way he carried himself. The quiet confidence that he exuded with his teammates, but he was a competitor, man. Joe Montana.
Thank you, Torry. Congratulations on the honor.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.